Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Well, in today's climate that we are facing right now, there are a number of people who are actually afraid that they are going to lose their jobs and that they may not be able to get to the home of their dreams or to invest in real estate, period. Well, I have some suggestions that you may want to think about. If you are worried that you are going to lose your job, what you should do first is contact a free financial advisor and your accountant. They should be able to assist you with the best ways in which you can manage your money and also save money on your taxes. What they will normally ask for you is to gather up all your bills and get an idea of what it is that you are paying monthly on your expenses and also what kind of debt you have. The next thing, of course, I would recommend is that you pay off your debt, because if you do lose your job, you don't want to have any amount of debt waving over your head. Next thing is I would suggest you get an emergency fund. Place it primarily in a high interest online bank or even a uh, tax bill, not tax bill, sorry, a treasury bill, short term. That way your money will grow faster and you have something. Normally emergency funds are 6 months to a year. So you may not necessarily have enough for that amount, especially if you have debt already, but you have to get started some way, somehow. The next thing I would consider is looking into a side hustle. I have several. Some don't pay, some do pay. Try and look for those that do pay or will eventually pay off in the future. You can go to websites like sidehustlenation.com, which will give you a whole bunch of different suggestions as far as what you can do in order to make a little extra money. Another thing that you can do is, a lot of us have skills that we're not aware of, that we may not appreciate, that we don't know that there are other people who wish they had what we have and are willing to pay for it. Well, what you can do is you can go to your local library. Well, I know here in New York we can, and we get free career counseling is available to us. And that career counselor can let us know, will ask particular questions, delve right in, and they'll pull out those undervalued talents that we have that other people are willing to work with. The next thing is this. Speaking about the side hustle, what I would do is I would put that side hustle in an LLC. Now, you can create your own LLC without an attorney. It's totally up to you, or you can get an attorney to set it up properly and do it for you. And you would put that side hustle business inside of that LLC. In addition to that, whatever stocks, ETFs, index mutual funds, crowd funds, tax liens, you can also add that into that same LLC. LLC gives you that protection. And the other reason why I mentioned you may want to put all of those other assets into an LLC is this. Sometimes when you're starting a business, it costs money. And when you are invested in these funds, it's a way in which you can grow your money. So that is one of the reasons why I mentioned that. The other reason is this. Some of you may work for a firm that prevents you from investing in certain vehicles. Well, you can't do it under your name, but you might be able to do it under the LLC. Again, double check with an attorney to verify if what I say is true in the state that you live in and in the city that you live in. Right now, I can tell you that although the stock market is not doing all that wonderful, there are still some stocks, ETFs, not so much with the index mutual funds, but it's still good to have an index mutual fund anyway. But there are still stocks and ETFs that are doing very well. Look into sectors such as healthcare, technology, even banking, finance, and choose what you know. Look at their history. Look to see, are they too big to fail? Some companies are, meaning even if they fall down a little bit, they're normally able to pick themselves back up. That's what you want to invest in. Companies that you know that's been around for a long time if you're going to go into the markets. By the way, they do have healthcare REITs, which is healthcare real estate investment trusts. These are where you are investing using a stock market in medical offices. And many medical offices are in dire need right now. So just a word to wise, you may want to consider it. You don't have to. Just investigate and look at it at this particular moment in time. Another area where I see things are, I'm still getting paid out of my real estate crowd funds. Okay, they pay me 8% interest every month. The market has not affected those at all. My tax lien, I'm still getting paid out of the tax lien. And as I mentioned to you guys before, in the state of Alabama, you can buy a tax lien for, yes, $450. So if you have $450, I would strongly suggest that you go to the tax assessor's office. You can actually go online and see what they have, make a phone call, and buy a tax lien on a property. And I believe the interest rate is either 12 or 15%. You may have to negotiate down, particularly if there's other people who are competing for that same particular property. Okay. The next thing are mortgage note funds. My mortgage note fund is still paying me 12% per month. And you can put all of that into an LLC. You can also put the note fund and the tax lien, you can also actually leave that in your name, because most companies, they don't really have a problem or an issue. There's no conflict of interest if you buy those two, and also the crowd fund as well. There's normally an issue if you buy stocks or mutual funds or ETFs. So you may want to double check with your firm to see what the restrictions are so that you know not to buy that particular item. The next thing that I would definitely do is, of course, cut costs wherever you see necessary. You may not necessarily need the Netflix account right now. I know it's very entertaining to most, and some of you may have a hard time doing away with it. I'm not against the company, but I'm just saying, if you are strapped for cash, just look and think, can you do without that for maybe a month or two? Or what some people do is they share the account, meaning you can share it with someone who does not have Netflix and then share the cost on it as well to save yourself some extra money. You can also go to places like coupons.com, other websites. There are also apps that are available where you can download a coupon to help you in your savings. Also, a lot of grocery stores, they have their own app right now where if you use the app, you get an extra, let's say $5 off or 5% off on all of your groceries that you buy. Consider downloading and using these apps, because sometimes we download apps but we don't use them. They just sit there taking up space on our phones. Okay. Next, I would open up an HSA account right now while you still have your job. Now, the maximum that you can put in for a single is about 3,000. I don't remember how much exactly it is for a couple and for a family. But I would definitely put money in that because Cobra can be quite expensive, and you'll find that it's a lot cheaper to open up an HSA and put that money in. Once that money is in, please note you can buy a tax lien, you can buy a mortgage note fund, you can buy a crowd fund, you can buy stocks, ETF, mutual funds, etc. Whether they conflict with the interests of the firm that you're working with or not. Double check with your lawyer and also the people who run it, but normally that is how it is done. I do realize each state is different, so that's why I say always double check. And if you need assistance with finding yourself an attorney at a discounted price, you can contact me and I can assist you with that. So folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully, the information that I have shared with you will help you make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this along. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.